These are all ions. When an atom loses an electron, it becomes a positively charged ion. And when an atom gains an electron, it becomes a negatively charged ion. So ions are simply charged particles. Here is a periodic table. Remember that atoms lose or gain electrons in order to form a full outer shell of electrons. All group 1 atoms lose 1 electron and form +1 ions. Group 2 loses 2 and group 3 loses 3. So metals form positive ions. Group 5 atoms have 5 electrons in outer shell, so need 3 more to fill it up. All atoms in group 5 gain 3 electrons and form -3 ions. Likewise, group 6 atoms gain 2 and form -2 ions, and group 7 forms -1 ion. So non-metals form negative ions. This middle chunk is called the transition metals. They also form positive ions, but the charges can vary. More on this in a separate tutorial. Finally, we have the noble gases. These don't form ions as they already have a full outer shell of electrons. So all this time we've been talking about ions as individual particles, but you can also have molecular ions. There are 5 you ought to memorize as they come up quite often. NO3-, OH-, CO3-2-, SO4-2-, and NH4+. A molecular ion is simply a group of atoms with a net charge. And this leads us on to ionic compounds, which form when positively charged ions bond with negatively charged ions through ionic bonding. For example, Na+ bonds with Cl- to form NaCl, or aluminium reacting with oxygen. To work out the formula of the compound, we can use the drop and swap method. Aluminium is in group 3. When it reacts, it loses 3 electrons. Oxygen is in group 6, and when it reacts, it gains 2 electrons. Swap these numbers. So the formula of the ionic compound is Al2O3. What about when Na reacts with SO4-2-? Well, Na is in group 1, so it loses 1 electron. SO4-2- has a 2- charge, so it has gained 2 electrons. Swap the numbers, so the formula is Na2SO4. And lastly, when calcium reacts with NO3-, Ca is in group 2, so it loses 2 electrons. NO3- has a -1 charge, so it has gained 1 electron. Swap the numbers, so we have Ca and 2 lots of NO3s, which means I have to use brackets.